Hey y'all, I'm Rylan. Welcome to my channel. It is Monday, October 16th, I believe. Yes, and I'm just here to do my intro for week 3 of Spooktober. Last week during my week 2 vlog, I didn't read a ton of books for the readathon, or any books for the readathon, minus finishing up half of one of the books that I was reading for the readathon because I was not having a blast at the moment with the books that I was picking up. I have completed 4 prompts for the readathon so far, but all of them have been 3 stars or less. So I took a little bit of a break at the beginning of last week and read some other things that weren't for the readathon but were still really fun, and they were all really great. So I'm hoping that now that I'm in a different maybe mindset of having enjoyed my last several reads, I'll be able to go into this week's vlog a little more positive, and we'll have a good time with the books that I pick up. I'm not currently reading anything for Spooktober, but I think that my next read is going to be #MurderTrending, which is the team book for Team Killer. I'll update y'all whenever I start it and give a quick synopsis of it, but that's my plan. And then if I can finish that one before the weekend, I will try to binge one more book for Spooktober this week and then finish up next week with my last read. Since I've already completed 4, if I can get to 5 and 6 this week, I'll get to the 7th book total next week, and I'll be able to finish all my prompts, which would be great. So I'll update y'all whenever I start Murder Trending. Fingers crossed I enjoy it. It sounds really good. Social media, high schoolers, drama. So I have high hopes for it. Fingers crossed it lives up to those expectations. My Spooktober vlogs are most certainly getting worse and worse as the month progresses, and I think I'm going to combine weeks 3, which is this week, and week 4 because I don't have a ton of content for this vlog. But it is Saturday, end of week 3, 28th, no, not the 28th, the 21st, and I am a little bit over 50% of the way through Murder Trending. This has been a very fun YA thriller so far, and I am absolutely loving it. It is about this girl named Dee who is accused of killing her sister. And in this world in which she lives, I'm guessing it's more like dystopian. Killers, or like a lot of killers, or bad people, quote unquote bad people, are thrown into this like prison. Like this prison is like a town, and whoever's in charge of it like brings in serial killers to eventually kill them. But while they're being sentenced, they like live in this town together. They have jobs, they make money, until they end up getting killed for their crimes by hired serial killers, and the whole country can watch their murders eventually play out. These citizens like pick favorites, and they can like subscribe to the people that are in this prison and things like that. It's very interesting. I don't know if it's like technically dystopian, but it kind of like feels like that because of the nature of the world in which this type of thing is allowed. So it's very like kooky in that way, but also like super interesting. It is the first in a trilogy, so I'm a little bit nervous that I'm not gonna get all the answers that I want by the end of this book, but that might just mean that I have to keep reading it or keep reading the series to find out what happens next. So far, super good. I plan to finish it up today, and I cannot wait. I'm so excited to wrap it up. But then after that, I'll start my 5th and 6th Spooktober reads, and I should be able to wrap up every single prompt by the end of this month, hopefully. So that's the goal, but I'll update y'all again whenever I finish this book, hopefully today, and we'll share what I end up reading next for Spooktober. Not quite sure which book I'll end up reading, but I'll update y'all whenever I get to that point. So I will talk to y'all later. All right, y'all, it is the same day as my last update. I did finish Murder Trending a couple of hours ago and I gave it 4 stars. I definitely need to finish reading the trilogy at some point, but right now is not that time as I get back into Spooktober and finish my last 2 prompts. So I just started reading The Stranger Upstairs a little bit ago. I am not quite halfway done, but I'm reaching the halfway point already, and this book is okay so far. Definitely has spooky vibes. Not my favorite book that I've ever read or listened to, but definitely eerie, and I'm curious to see what ends up happening. This book is about a woman named Sarah whose pretty much entire life, it seems like, is kind of a fraud. She and her husband move into this house where years ago a very brutal murder occurred, and since then it has not been lived in. Its past has just kept people from wanting to buy it. It has kept the people in the town from wanting people to live in it. And so when Sarah and her husband buy the house and decide to remodel it and then sell it for profit, people don't like that. But things in the house start going weird, or start becoming very weird. Sarah and her husband already have a rocky relationship. Pretty much, I think that's kind of based off lies in the first place, and Sarah's pretty much all by herself and trying to figure out what is going on and why she is feeling so creeped out in her own home that she's trying to renovate, and why the renovations are going so bad. She thinks that there's a reason for that. So the back of the book says, a gruesome mystery, a hostile neighborhood, a new owner with a shocking secret, welcome to Blackwood House. So Sarah also has her secrets that we don't really know yet, but I'm hoping that they come to light soon because I'm very curious to know more about her past. But there's a lot of creepy stuff going on in this house right now, so that's pretty much where we are. Sarah is trying to get answers. Her husband is pretty absent. So I'll be curious to see where this one ends up going, but so far it's good. Again, not like my favorite thriller, but it is definitely keeping my attention, and I'll probably end up finishing it tonight as well, which would be great because then I'll have 1 week and a half, I guess, pretty much, to read my last book for Spooktober, which would be amazing. So that's that. I started working on a puzzle while I listened to this book, which has been fun so far. I'm taking a break, I think, for the rest of the day, but I'm hoping to do that puzzle, like work on it every day a little bit and see how long it takes to finish. So that's my update for right now. I'll hop back in here whenever I finish The Stranger Upstairs and update y'all when I start my last book as well. Alright, y'all, my body has been hating me a lot recently because I feel like crap today. But last night before I went to bed, I did finish The Stranger Upstairs, giving it 3 stars. It was definitely eerie with like haunted-ish house vibes, but there was just something about it that didn't quite click for me. I was very much getting the yellow wallpaper vibes as well by Charlotte Perkins Gilman, which is a short story written in the 1900s, I believe. And like that's just what I kept thinking about while I read this book. I don't know if this author like drew inspiration from that short story, or if she like kind of just copied it, but it felt like a little bit too similar to that short story for me, and it kind of like made me wonder like a lot of like different things. I really like that short story, but this just like matched it a little bit too closely in my opinion, especially once our main character started writing her own diary entries and time just began to blur and she was seeing things and hearing things kind of similar to the yellow wallpaper story. So, and also like it wasn't like super thrilling. The build-up was really very slow, which is not a bad thing, but I just didn't end up falling in love with it in the end. But this is my second to last Spooktober prompt. I will be starting my last book, probably not today. I would like to binge a book while I lay in bed and do nothing, minus homework all day, is my goal. So I might like binge a romance or something, maybe like a spicy romance. But then I'll start The Clinic by Kate Quinn this week to wrap up Spooktober. Whenever I finish that book, I'll like end this reading vlog. So I'll give y'all an update once I get to 50% into it probably, or I could get a chunk all the way through it and then I'll wrap it up once I do finish the book. But I've got 12 days, not 12 days, 9 days to do so. So I feel like it's doable if I just read like 15% a day. And actually I could read even less than that and still finish the book in time. So it should be pretty good. I will update y'all in a couple days and then we'll go from there. All right, y'all, it is October 31st, which means that today's the last day of the Spooktober readathon. I said that I was going to read The Clinic for my final prompt, but I ended up realizing that one of the other books that I'd read this month that I wasn't counting for Spooktober technically works for the last prompt that I needed to fulfill. So I just decided to go ahead and count that one. I needed to focus on my book club pick during the last couple of days of October, and so I didn't end up getting to The Clinic, whoops, which was an arc that I had and wanted to read, but that's okay because I still end up completing all of the prompts for the final prompt that I needed, which was a thriller with multiple POVs. I read A Slow Fire Burning by Paula Hawkins, and I liked it. It wasn't my favorite, but it was very twisty and fun and very engaging. I would still say it just wasn't super surprising in the end to me. But this thriller is about this guy who ends up dead on his boathouse, and there are a bunch of people who are connected to him, who are also connected to each other, and they all have their secrets, and one of them may or may not have killed the guy on the houseboat, and it was definitely a quick read. Again, just nothing super surprising to me, but I liked it just fine. So that wraps up my Spooktober reading vlog. I'll go ahead and share all the prompts and all the books that I read again, just to wrap up this month-long readathon slash my vlogs for the readathon. But first, I read The Perfect Marriage by Geneva Rose for the poll pick prompt. Then I read Bad Things Feel Best by Ivy Smoke for a stairway slash hallway slash house on the cover. And then I read A Slow Fire Burning by Paula Hawkins for the multiple POVs prompt. Then I read Missing Clarissa by Ripley Jones, which was a NetGalley arc, heck yes, for the missing person prompt. I read The Stranger Upstairs by Lisa M. Matlin for the prompt of published in 2023. And then finally, or I guess second to finally, I read People Like Us by Dana Meal for Read Any Thriller Book. And then I read the team book option number 1, which was #Murder Trending by Gretchen McNeil. And that was everything. The team book was definitely my favorite book of the month, or my favorite book for the readathon, and I truly need to continue with that series, but I have not yet had the time, but hopefully soon. But yeah, that wraps up my Spooktober reading vlog. I am so happy with how this month went. I have had to work out points for each team for like 700 plus entries. I'm gonna guess that I have another 200 or so to do this week to announce this weekend, but I'm giving everybody time to finish submitting their prompts for the day. But yes, I feel like every year this readathon just ends up being a huge success, and it makes me so happy to watch everybody have so much fun and to see everybody participate and read a bunch of different thrillers, mysteries, and horrors, and coming together to talk about those books that they've read for this readathon, even when they're on different teams. So I am once again, yay, super happy about how this readathon has gone, and I cannot wait to announce soon the mini Spooktober round for 2024, early 2024, which I'll hopefully announce in the next couple of months. But that's all that I have for this reading vlog. I cannot believe that October is already over and that we're reaching the holiday season, November coming up. It's crazy, but I had so much fun this month reading Spooktober books, reading spooky books with y'all, and I cannot wait to do it again. But thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see y'all in the next video.